peace and greeting open minds. Jrhue sends out tons of vibrations of positive energy throughout the universe. To the hard-headed children on Mother Gaia, me too, her earthlings, Mother Goddess, Father Gods, Archangel Michael, Metatron, Fairy Godmother, Spiritual Guide, Guardian Angels, to my galactical family, Arcturians, Andromedons, Pleiadians, Atlanteans, throughout the doggone tribe to the Lion's Gate. To Yang as well as Yang, Jrhue sends out vibrations of positive energy, love, plus sign, just call it whatever you want it, music that may vibrate within your hearts and light up your souls. Star seeds, let me tell you about a story told to me by Jrhue. Within the forest of Gaia resides a man known as Jrhue. Some would say he was a man like no other. Some would say he was bad. To this he would respond, people see and reflect what's inside of them. And what they ate sure didn't make him spit out dirt. He was both loved and feared. He told those who were closest to him that he was from the planet Mercury, and his sole purpose while on Mother Gaia was to defend his star seeds, rainbow, indigo, children of the stars. He was a lover and defender of all life forms on his Mother Gaia. The bees, the trees, the birds, the fish, all that was being destroyed because of the greed of man. He did not discriminate. He loved all colors in the rainbow. He would not be divided by the words placed upon them. He loved them all because to not love one as much as the other is to not love himself. And he was created by Mother God and Father Goddess of love, and that was very sacred. He loved the elements of the universe, earth, wind, water, fire. He called them the old gods, the ones who the native people worship before the man-made gods. He was not a very big man. He's very big man. He stood 6'1", and the most he ever wore was 165 pounds. He did not consider himself to be handsome or ugly, because to him they were only words, and if they did not exist, he was still who he is. What intrigued many people when he was growing up, he walked, and he always said that he had parrot toes. Therefore, he already had the feet of a bird, and one day he would find his wings and fly back home. He was born and raised in the south of North America, which is simply known as America today. He was born September 6, 1960 in the southeast city called Charleston, South Carolina, and was raised in an all-black neighborhood where there were two projects that sat beside the street, divided in the middle, and his parents reside in a house that sat in the middle of the street facing both projects. A neighborhood store beside his parents' house. His parents were Mildred Rhue and Joseph Rhue. His mother never worked as he could recall because his father had a long history working on the naval base. He was military, and as a child coming up, young Anthony, Joseph, would always sneak and play with his military sword. As a young boy coming up, he was very shy, very courageous, very loving, caring, kind-hearted, and stubborn. His father, Joseph Jrhue, who was in his 50s when he was born, loved the outdoors, and he would always take young Joseph fishing and hunting with him, along with his friend Russell. His father had other children as well as his mother, and he was the baby of them all. And his mother loved him dearly. She taught him how to cook and respect his elders at a very early age. In school, he excelled. His favorite subject was math. His report card was always A's, except maybe history, because at a very young age he liked Western movies and he loved the native people now called Indians. He remembered how all of the Native American or the native people had many tribes and there was no whites, so-called whites. So when he read a history book that said Christopher Columbus discovered America, he immediately knew it was a lie. And whoever put that in the school in North America was a liar. From then on, at that very young age of 7, he began to lose interest. You see, although he was only 7, he had 2 sisters that were both older than he was on his mother's side, and he would read from their school books. Yes, he would go to school, and yes, he kept his grade up, but was only to please his mother. When he was 9 years old, his father died on his job. They said he had a heart attack. He would always say he loved his father, but his mother more. The time he had put in allowed my mother to receive a check once a month. He was sad for a long time after his father died, and he felt that he had to take care of his mother. In the summer of 1969, he was 9 years old. He was sitting on the step early one summer afternoon and decided he would walk to the park, which was down the street from his house. The neighborhood pool sat on the side of the park, facing his home. When he got to the park walking through the grass, he looked down and saw what he thought was a 4-leaf clover. Many times he thought he saw one walking through the grass. However, they always had 3 leaves. But as he picked this one up, he saw that it had 4 leaves, and he thought to himself, they do exist, and he couldn't wait to get home and tell his mother. Then he heard the Citadel football team practicing and decided he would sneak into Burke High School, go by the gym, climb up on the roof or the catwalk, and sit up there to watch them practicing. He was sitting there watching, then he heard something unusual humming, a humming sound like he had never heard before. When he looked up, he saw a bright light in the sky in the daytime, and that was all he remembered. Star Seeds, we will continue this story about Jrhue because there is lots of things you may be able to learn from the story. Part 2 coming soon. Subscribe to my channel. Peace.